Bienvenido a la clase.
Justin, this isn't Spanish class.
¿Qué?
Alright, this is our chemistry presentation, and we thought, what's more chemistry?
¡De electricity! Shocking.
Now that we've seen Justin's ridiculous antics, let's learn a thing.
In electricity, there are three different properties: volts, amps, and ohms.
Webster's dictionary defines volts as potential difference.
Volts are the driving force behind electrons. Think of it like a push. More push, the more current flows. A small push is only enough to move electrons through something conductive like metal, but when the voltage is high enough, electricity can travel through substances that aren't usually conductive, like human flesh or even the air, as I will demonstrate.
It's hard to tell from the camera, but the electricity in the glove is actually arcing up to an inch through the air. This little device here converts the charge from 4 AA batteries to about 4,000 volts, which is enough to arc through air about an inch.
Well, that was complicated. Do you think we should elaborate a little bit more?
Nah, it's chemistry. Let's move on!
Dictionary.com defines amps as electric current.
Electric current is measured with amps. Basically, if a lot of electrons are moving through the circuit, it's a high number, and if only a few electrons are moving through the circuit, it's a low number. That's all there is to it.
Please consider the following.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Remember the taser glove? That was an example of high voltage but really low current. This is an example of low voltage but really high current.
Can I caress this rusty screw?
No! Bad Josh. You can melt it though.
We need more power, so... A standard wall outlet isn't nearly powerful enough to power this thing.
Disclaimer, we didn't actually make a furnace because we're kind of missing the furnace part. Yeah?
Don't play tennis. People who play tennis are not the best kind of people.
This message has been brought to you by the Anti-Tennis Association of America.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
What was that?
I don't know. Our sponsors? Let's go.
Don't look directly at it. Man, those screws were harder to melt than we thought. And you know, we're pretty insane. And insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. So second try!
Alright, it's bubbling. Okay.
Okay, we give up. Here's an explanation of the arc furnace. It converts the combined power of two wall outlets, 120 volts and 30 amps, to about 12 volts at a theoretical 300 amps. That's absolutely insane. Since it's only about 12 volts, the current can only travel through really conductive things like metal, but it can still arc through air at a microscopic amount. A ton of current passes through this arc, making it incredibly bright. In fact, we can't even look at it while using it because it can blind you.
Let's move on to the final part.
But guys, beware, it does involve a little bit of math. Wikipedia defines homes as a place of residence.
Justin, you're thinking of homes.
Oh. Oxford's dictionary defines ohms as resistance.
Ohms measures how easily electricity can pass through stuff. The higher the number, the less conductive the substance is. For example, a meter of copper has like 2 quintillionths of an ohm, and a meter of wood has like 10 quadrillion. There's a pretty wide range of numbers.
We kind of lied to you. Ohms isn't really a property of electricity. It's a way to measure how easily electricity passes through certain substances.
But, you know, it's not like we've ever told you lies to explain chemistry before.
Volts, amps, and ohms all relate to each other through this equation. It looks a bit easier when you do this. Basically, if you have a wire with 1 ohm of resistance and 1 volt of potential difference, 1 amp of current will travel through the wire. It's simple algebra. So long as you know 2 of the values, you can figure out the third. For example, let's say you have 2 AA batteries, 3 volts, hooked up to a circuit with 10 ohms of resistance. How much current do you have?
Alright, we're done. Now time for the quiz.
Please, pause the video and answer the following questions as a class. After answering the question, please resume the video to move on. Question 1. What is an ohm? Question 2. What property is defined as potential difference? Question 3. What does the little device on the taser glove do to the 4 AA batteries? Question 4. Explain how the transformers work.
No thanks.
Thanks for watching.
I'm sure you've all learned a ton.
Please subscribe. I'm lonely. I need friends.
Here's Justin rubbing his face.
Action! We're getting weird today! It's a circle line!
I'm watching Justin rub his face.
Punch in the stomach! Punch in the stomach! Punch in the stomach!
Webster's dictionary defines volts as
drop
That's a pretty stick.
Volts, amps, and ohms.
And Parkinson!